Okay. Welcome to our stream for this morning. We're looking at the melodic minor scale in the Orange textbook, working on pages 28 and 29 today. So I'll bring up the textbook onto the screen directly through my iPad. I'm going to give that the pen a go again, see how that goes. So let's look at the melodic minor scale. Now, we did study this scale in Year 11, so this is kind of revision, but it's the first time we've addressed the melodic minor in the Orange textbook. So here it is. You're already probably quite familiar with the fact that it's a scale that changes on the way down compared to the way up. So on the way up, it's 1. If you're starting with a major scale, of course, it's 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, flat, and then on the way down, flat 7, flat 6, 5, 4, flat 3, 2, 1. You probably recognise that part of the scale, the second half, as also being the natural minor, the flat 3, 6 and 7 scale. So, to define a melodic minor, it is flat 3 on the way up, and then a natural minor on the way down, flat 3, flat 6, flat 7. So here is a diagram of one on a keyboard right here. You can see on the way up we go C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B, C, and the arrow pointing backwards shows you the way down, C, B flat, A flat, and then the remaining notes G, F, E flat, D, C. I'll just play that scale to you right now so you can review how it sounds. Here is an example of that scale written out on the stave with a key signature. Now, we don't see scales with their key signatures very often in our tests and exams. Most of the questions ask us to add the accidentals in, but if you look here, the key signature of C minor is based on the major scale, a third up. What is a third up from C? C, D, E flat. So there's the key signature of E flat major, B flat, E flat, and A flat. If that confuses you, don't stress. We'll be always working it out without a key signature from now on, but this is just one way to look at it. We say C minor is related to E flat major, and so therefore that's why it's C, D, E flat because of the key signature, F, G, A, B, C. Those natural signs are there because they're cancelling out the key signature to make it just a flat 3, A, B, C. Now you're wondering, why do I need to flatten these ones here on the way down when they're in the key signature? Because the naturals we use there, naturals apply for the rest of a bar. And in this case, there's no bar line till the end. So to make them flat 6, 7 and 6 again, we need to flatten them back with an accidental. On the way back down, that E doesn't need a flat though because it was already in the key signature. And there. Now I imagine that could be quite confusing to think about for some students. So that's just there really for your interest. Here's how we work it out when we are actually doing it in one of our exam questions with no key signatures. So I'm going to move the page up a little. So here's a perfect example of how you would write it in the exam. No key signature at the start. So we start with a major scale. So we know a C major scale is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and back down. And then we've flattened 1, 2, 3 on the way up. Because in a melodic minor, it's only the third note that's lowered. Up we go. And then on the way down, we flatten 7, 6, and 3. Just a reminder, the scale degree numbers always start from the bottom note. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3. It's their position against the lowest note, the tonic note of the scale, not their position from left to right. So it's not uncommon for some students to go, oh yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, it's the other way around. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the top octave 8, or 1. Okay, let us look at one more example before we start doing some questions together. As always, I'll leave some questions for you to do on your own, and that's what you'll upload to Google Classrooms. So let's have a look. A melodic minor. Let's have a look at it, and I'm actually take my pen out and start writing some things. Now I need to quickly bring up our key signature chart because I haven't done that yet. So let me just load that up. My apologies, I didn't have that ready at the start of the lesson. I was a bit slack there, wasn't I? So just give me a second here. And here is our order of sharps here. So when we're working in a melodic, when we're trying to work out a melodic minor, this question here, we need to firstly think, what does A major need? Because we're always starting with a major scale first. So sharp key, because it doesn't have a flat in its name, we start from the sharp side and we move across until we get to A, and then we take away 2, meaning that A major would need Father Christmas. It's F sharp, C sharp, G sharp. Cool. So let's have a look. If this was a major scale, which notes would have been sharp? This note would have been sharp. I'm just going to put it on the top to keep it out of the way. That note would definitely be sharp, and that's already there. And that note. And on the way down, also, they would have been sharp if it was A major. If it was A major. But of course, we are not working out A major. We're working out A melodic minor, which is flat 3 on the way up, and flat 3, 6, and 7 on the way down. Notice I've done them backwards because that's the way they appear in the scale. 7 would be first, followed by 6, 3 later on. So what do we now need to do? Well, let's actually do that. First things first, that sharp is not needed. I'll put it up the top there to keep it out of the way because we need to lower the 3. It was a C sharp in A major. We're going to take it away to make it C. It's gone. D, E, F sharp would stay. G sharp will stay because they're a part of the A major scale. This is where things can get a bit confusing. This is the natural sign. It kind of looks like a sharp with a few sticks missing from the top and the bottom. And so if we work our way down, that should have been a G sharp. That's why we've got a G sharp. That's why we've got a sharp sign there. But because we now need to lower the 7 on the way down, we need to remove the sharp. But because we've already had that note sharpened in the same bar, we need to cancel it out by using the natural sign. Similarly here, this was meant to be an F sharp in a major scale. We're lowering the 6, but it was a sharp earlier in the same bar. We consider this whole scale to be 1 bar because there's no bar lines. No time signature either to specify how many beats there should be, but still it's 1 bar. Remember, a bar line or a natural sign is the only thing that cancels out an accidental. So that F needs to be naturalized as well. On the way down, what do we need to do? It's still a flat 3 because flat 3 is 6, 7, so that's why that sharp is gone. And there we are. Cool. So that might have been more confusing than it needed to be because there's lots of other circles and things on the page in the textbook. If we work through some questions though together, we should be able to make this a simpler concept to understand. So I'm going to move into the next page. So this is page 29. Now I'm actually going to leave A melodic minor alone because we just did it on the previous page. You can work that one out yourself because it's just on the next page. In fact, it's just a copy it across if you want. Let's have a look at D melodic minor right here. So first things first, what are the steps? Step 1 is work out the major first. Okay, so we need to work out the major first. So I'm going to suggest we'll do this one in treble clef. That's my bias as being a bass guitarist. Bass is ace clef. Treble is terrible clef. Okay, that's a terrible joke. Let's move on. Okay, so we're going to work out the major first, D major. So we should know our D major scale by now. But if you don't, a quick reminder. Whoops. Let's try this one. There we go. It's a sharp key. Start from this side. Work your way up to D. Take away 2. F and C sharp are the required sharps. Now, another thing we definitely need to do is we need to actually write our notes on the scale on the stave. That's a part of working out the major scale first. Starting on D, we're going to work our way up. I'm slowly getting used to using this pen on the iPad. Oops, but that was still pretty dodgy. Try again. Keep in mind we are doing up and down, so I need to make sure I don't spread my notes out too far. I think I'll fit them all in neatly. Okay, so there it is. That is D up to D and back down again because it's a melodic minor scale. Let's quickly apply the key signature. Now, if you're working in pen, pop the sharps down here out the way for the moment because we don't want you crossing stuff out later. If you're working in pencil, it's not such a big deal. You'll probably get used to the idea of just working it out below anyway, so you're not having to erase stuff in the exam. But because I can easily erase stuff, I'm going to apply the key signature on. So D melodic minor is F sharp, C sharp. So I'm going to put that on. And on the way back down, I'm going to do it as well. Yes, I know technically that sharp applies to that F as well because it's already in the same scale, but I'm just being specifically detailed here with putting it in a second time. You won't lose any marks by putting it in again if it's required, so don't stress about that. Okay, so we've done step 1. Step 2 is flatten the third on the way up, and so it's only a 2-step process, and flatten the 7, 6 and 3 on the way down. Now I'm presenting them in reverse because that's the way they appear. So step 2, let's have a look. So scale degree, we're going the way up. First we need to flatten the third. 1, 2, 3. There's the third note of the scale. It's got a sharp symbol at the moment. How do we lower it? We take it away. Nothing else needs to be adjusted for the rest of the ascending part, so the C sharp from the key signature remains. So that needs to be a C sharp because of the key signature. It's scale degree 7. We're not changing it on the way up. On the way down, we need to flatten, and I've done them in the reverse order, so they're in the order we see them. 7, 6 and 3. So let's go 1. Sorry. Oh, I just made the same mistake a lot of students do. 8, 7. Oh, there's scale degree 7 right there. What do we need to do? We need to flatten it. There's a sharp sign there. Now, if you thought, oh, I'll just take it away, then you would be wrong. You can't just take it away because that sharp is still having an effect on it. We say it's like sharps and flats and accidentals have little laser beams that shoot through, and the only things that can stop those laser beams are natural signs or bar lines. So it's still having effect on that note, so to cancel it out we need to put our natural sign in, which is like that. I'll draw a big one down here, so it's a down and then up across to the side of it, and then up, down. That's how you draw a natural sign. Cool. So we've done scale degree 7. Let's look at scale degree 6. Did it have anything affecting it from the key signature? No, it was just B. So if we want that to be flat, we need to flatten it with a flat symbol. Let's keep on moving. So 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. We need to flatten 3. How do we do that? Do we need to use a natural sign? No, because that F wasn't sharpened or flattened elsewhere either. Now, just a pro tip though, if you did put a natural sign there, the examiners won't mark it wrong. It's just not necessary. Technically, any note that's not sharp or flat, you could put a natural sign next to it, but it'd be a real waste of time and you wouldn't do it. It'd look really messy. But it's not technically wrong. So if you did put a natural sign there by accident, just for this one, it's no biggie. But that's the fully correct way to do this. There's the third flattened. Cool. And that is one scale completely finished. Don't worry about this part of the question here. Okay, let's move along and do one more scale, and then I will get you to do the rest for your homework. All of it's homework, I guess, but your learning tasks. The ones I will get you to do obviously are A melodic minor. We're going to work out E melodic minor right now. So I'll leave then G, B and C for you to do. And F sharp. The remaining page we'll do another day, maybe in term 3 for a bit more revision. So, right now, I will support you in doing E melodic minor. So, let's do it in bass clef, just to keep things varied. So there is my clef sign. A reminder, the dots surround the second top line, the F line. I'm not going to write it on today, but a reminder, the lines are good, birds don't fly away, and the spaces, all cows eat grass. That is something you should be becoming very familiar with and fluent in. If not, make sure you do a few extra musictheory.net exercises on note reading. Okay, so what was step 1 again? Work out the major first. So what does E major need? Okay, again, it's a sharp key. We know that because it doesn't have a flat in its name. All the flat keys have a flat in their name, like B flat major, E flat major, and so on, with the exception of F major, which has B flat. We just need to remember that. So, D major. Let's go from left to right, all the way through to D. Take away 2, and we're left with F and C sharp. So, here we go. What am I talking about? I totally worked out the wrong scale then, didn't I? I'm not thinking, I'm still thinking about the old one. We're working out E major, so we go up to E. And then take away 2. We need F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp. So, thankfully I got that right this time. It's still early in the morning, hey? That's my excuse anyway. Maybe I'm just getting old and forgetful. So, F, C, G, and D. Cool. Another way to remember that is, don't forget, we can use the strings of a bass guitar. For example, G major is could be thought of as the first string, which is therefore 1 sharp. D major is the second string up from the bottom, 2 sharps for D major. The A string on a bass is the third string up, 3 sharps, A major. And the E string is the 4th string up, 4 sharps for E major. That's another way to think of it. Also works on the violin with the strings in the opposite direction, if you're wondering. That's how I used to remember it as a violinist. So, what else do we need to do? I need to write the notes. I need to stop, rubbishing on and actually do some work. So I'm going to put the notes on the page. I'm going to start on E here, just to avoid using too many ledger lines at the top of the stave. So again, I'm going to try and spread them out evenly without running out of space. Yep, there we go. Now I'm going to go back down. In the exam, they might just ask you to write the ascending form of the scale. So if they do that, obviously just write it going up and flatten the 3 only. I don't think I've ever seen them ask you to write the descending form of the melodic minor. They would ask for a descending natural minor instead, but they could. It's within the realms of the questions in the exam. So, to make a major first, we need to put the notes on and apply the key signature. So, bass clef, that's E. So let's count up the alphabet. E, F, F sharp. G, so yes for the key signature because it's there. E, F sharp, G sharp. A, not in the key signature. B, C, yes, C is in the key signature. D, yes, it's in the key signature. Cool. So that is E major ascending. For the descending, you just need to match things up. So that note, yep, they both need to be sharp. They're both D. Okay, that note, was it sharp back there? Yes, it was. Keep on going. Yes, and yes. Yes. Got it. So there is our major scale. So there's E major. So what's left? We need to flatten the 3 on the way up. So let's do that now. 1, 2, 3. It's a sharp currently. How do we flatten a sharp? By a semitone. How do we lower a sharp note by a semitone? We take the sharp away. No natural sign required because it hasn't been sharpened previously in the example. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 remain as they are based on the key signature, and 8. On the way down, what do we do? It's flat 7, 6, 3 or flat 3, 6, 7, but I've done them in the order they appear. So 8, 7, there is scale degree 7. So that D sharp needs to become a D. Because it was sharpened previously, it also needs to have a natural sign, so it's D natural. So I'm going to get rid of it, and then add a natural sign. Okay. 8, 7, 6. There's scale degree 6. It needs to be lowered by a semitone too. How do we do that? We get rid of it, and because it was previously sharpened in the same bar, we put a natural sign. Okay. So 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. 3 also needs to be lowered by a semitone. Was it sharpened previously in the question? No. So therefore, we just have to erase it. Cool. And we now have an E melodic minor scale. So, from there, I'm going to ask you now to do these remaining scales. This first one is actually given to you. I'm actually going to be mean. Not mean, just make things a bit more challenging. It was given to you here in bass clef on the previous page. So I'll get you to work. So it was given to you in treble clef. Did I say bass? It was given to you in treble clef. I'm going to give it to you in bass clef on this question here. So I'll get you to that one in bass clef. Let's vary things up. So we'll just keep the pattern going for the rest. You do G melodic minor in treble, B melodic minor in bass, and C melodic minor in treble. That should be pretty simple because based around C, start with C major scale and just add the flats as necessary or any naturals as required. And F sharp melodic minor in bass clef. An easy way to think of F sharp melodic minor is it's everything sharp except B. Okay. What I'll do is I'll sign off now from our live stream. This is of course going to be available for you to watch at any time. Currently not public. And that's done so that only people can get in through the link from our class, so we don't have unexpected visitors in the live chat. But once I'm finished, I will publish this so it's viewable straight from my channel. Or the link will always still work too, so you can always access this again through the link if you need to review this work again. Well, I'm going to head back into Zoom. Please jump back in to seek support and advice, including any help with getting used to using Google Classroom for submitting this work. So I'm going to sign off now. Have a great day. I'll see you back in Zoom shortly.